All right, so now we're finishing up Psalm 22, and this is just the flip side where this is, imagine Jesus thinking about what's going to happen after he rises from the dead and the future of the kingdom. And so this is just the more enjoyable half, where the other one was about suffering, and this is about why Jesus suffered, the joy set before him that made him endure the cross. So verse 22, and I think, Jesus made it clear that we relate to him in the same way that he relates to the Father. So Jesus says, as the Father sent me, so I send you. And so let's think about that while we read these verses, that some of these verses could be Jesus thinking about his Father, and some of these could be us thinking about Jesus, like this first one. Verse 22 says, I will proclaim your name to my brothers. Oh man. And so I think about Jesus, that because of what he did on the cross, we are joint heirs with him. And so we're his brothers. And Jesus, I believe it helped him endure the cross because he had it tells us that for the joy set before him, he endured the cross, that he thought about all of us that would receive him. And I think, ladies, you're the brothers of Christ, there's no male and female. And, in his eyes, we're all his brothers. And he was thinking about just us enjoying his Father together. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine a son who just enjoys his father, and then he discovers an orphanage, and he goes and he tries to convince as many orphans to come and be his brothers and his sisters and enjoy his Father? Well, that's what Jesus did with us. He came to us in our world so we could enjoy his Father with him. And, I'm going to do this with all the people I help lead to Christ. I'm thinking about, as I minister to atheists, that we're going to go and spend eternity with Jesus and the Father, and we are going to proclaim, his name together. 23, you who fear the Lord, praise him. All you descendants of Jacob, honor him. All you descendants of Israel, revere him. For he has not despised or detested the torment of the afflicted. He did not hide his face from him, but listened when he cried to him for help. Man, we're also teaching through Exodus, and we see how God, he listened to the cry of Israel, and that's why he sent Moses. Well, man, Jesus is the ultimate answer to all pain. Jesus is going to die to save us from condemnation. He's going to produce this gratefulness in us that's going to make us forgive other people. Man, he's going to totally wipe out the cross of Jesus Christ, wipes out pride and arrogance. It wipes out selfishness. It wipes out fear. Everything that torments us. We don't have vision, it gives us vision. Everything that torments humanity is healed and taken care of in the cross of Jesus Christ. 25, I will give praise in the great congregation because of you. I believe God is going to worship the Father in front of us, and we're going to worship the Trinity in front of each other. I will fulfill my vows before those who fear you. The humble will eat and be satisfied. Those who seek the Lord will praise him. May your hearts live forever. Man, I think this is a big part of the gospel. It's the humble who receive it. And it makes us humble, right? When you believe that you can't save yourself and you need Jesus. And those of us who have accepted Jesus will eat and be satisfied. Those who seek him will praise him. So those are those two things. Like, as I minister to people, what you'll notice is it's a lack of humility and a lack of seeking that keep people from Jesus. Either people want to save themselves, or they don't think Jesus is God, or they don't think there is God, and there's just this sense of pride, or they just don't care, right? So we've got to be humble and seek him. Verse 27, all the ends of the earth will remember and turn to the Lord. All the families of the nations will bow down before you, for kingship belongs to the Lord. Man, everyone will bow down before Jesus. And the kingship does belong to the Lord. He rules over the nation. So right now, not everybody admits it, but everybody will admit who Jesus is, that he is King of Kings and Lord of Lords, and everyone will bow down before him. Verse 29, all who prosper on earth will eat and bow down. All those who go down to the dust will kneel before him, even the one who cannot preserve his life. So even everyone that spends an eternity in hell will bow down before Jesus. Verse 30, descendants will serve him. The next generation will be told about the Lord. And let me tell you what, this is a fun service. It is enjoyable to work for God. I don't know if you found out what you're good at, but God has given you things that you're good at. Many hobbies. Many hobbies are people producing something for God, whether it be woodworking or cooking, things that people enjoy that blesses other people. And when we bless other people, we're serving God. So think about that. For all eternity, we are going to be serving each other, doing things we love to do, we yearn to do, and it's going to bless God and it's going to bless others. I love making coffee. I love architecture. I would love to design buildings. I can't do that right now, but maybe in the new earth. I love working with wood. I love building things. And these are things that bless other people. Verse 31, they will come and tell a people yet to be born about his righteousness, what he has done. That's what we're doing. We're telling the next generation about Jesus and what he's done. In the millennial kingdom, the 1,000-year reign of Christ, we'll be telling, because that people will still be born in that time. We'll be telling them what Jesus did. So what a great chapter. Think about the first half of this chapter of just the agony that Jesus went through. And this is really the prize of what Jesus had in mind and what encouraged him, and the goal of just all of us in community, worshiping the Father, worshiping him, being there for each other, serving each other. This is what Jesus had in mind, I believe, when he was on the cross.